Alright guys, so it's a new day. Start this video off here at my house because we went and got the car the other day. So the Lexus is sitting here. Cranked it, revved it, let it sit for about 10 minutes the other day. But today we are hopefully going to take it up the road. It needs to be cleaned off really badly, but aside from that, let's take a look around, shall we? 4-inch intake clamp, need one of them, went and bought that. Need a vacuum line from here to, I believe, here on the intake manifold. Not entirely sure how I'm going to run that yet. My downpipe needs to get situated, loosened and turned toward the this side a little bit. It's a little too close down there to the transmission line for my liking. Oh, and the temp gauge is going to have to get rewired up because it's not hooked up right now, and the oil is going to get topped off because, like I said, we lost a little bit one time. I'm not sure if that made it into a video. I don't think it did, but the line to feed the single turbo into the block was barely threaded on, and it leaked a lot and made a big mess. I think we lost a quart or something that day, but anyways, so we're going to go ahead and start working on that, and the interior needs to get put back together. The shifter needs to be reassembled, so I'm going to probably start with that and go from there. But yeah, that's what we're doing today, and shouldn't take very long, and then we will be able to crank the car, let it run. It needs to do a 15-minute break-in, I believe, for the turbo, and I'm not wanting to do that until the temp gauge is hooked up, so that way I can monitor the temps and make sure we're not going to blow this thing up. But other than that, guys, I'm super excited. This thing sounds just vicious. It sounds gnarly. It is dumped like right here. Not entirely sure if you can see it. Yep, dumped right there under the passenger seat. And yeah, so it's pretty loud, but it sounds wicked. But anyway, go ahead and start on this. Let me get the interior back together, and I'll show you the inside of it, clean it up a little bit. So yeah, stick around. Okay, so intake is on. Not running a filter right now because I actually can't find one that fits yet, but we are going to get something on that. That's just temporary. Vacuum for wastegate is ran. I have it tucked under the cover. It runs from here to here into the T. Let's see what else. Moved the downpipe over a little bit so it fits by the trans lines a little bit better, and then topped off the oil. So now what we gotta do next is put the interior back together, wire my gauge for coolant, and then going to top off the transmission fluid, but can't do that until the car is running and in neutral. So that's probably gonna be the last thing to check, whatever. But other than that, yep, progress is coming along, and then you guys will get to hear it soon. So alright guys, so don't know if you remember video way a long time ago, actually probably like I think my second best video so far as far as views go. Things wrong with the IS300. One of them was the shifter. It would never line up, it wouldn't go all the way into park and whatever. So anyway, so we're in park, it's in park. For some reason, when you press the brakes, it doesn't want to come out, but you can press the release. We're in reverse, neutral, drive, second, low. And it all lines up, and we'll go into park, which is a big deal for me because adapting to the 4-speed Supra transmission instead of the 5-speed automatic that's in the IS300 is actually a little bit more difficult than I would have imagined. But really all you have to do is bend the arm of the shifter, like underneath here there's an arm that's attached to the bottom of the shifter. You have to bend it out slightly, and then the linkage on the transmission that you physically pull with the shifter to put it in gear, you have to shorten it by about this much, about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. And yeah, other than that, it should line up perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and finish putting the interior back together. I need to get all this shit out of here, and then we're gonna wire up the gauges and let the car run. So yeah. Alright, so interior is back together minus the shift boot cover, but it's gonna go on there in just a second. I cleaned it up while it was out. My aux cord for the radio, it tucks in back there, just ignore it. But anyway, got it all in here, and so something I'm really proud of now. Now that everything is hooked up, put the brake on, and it goes all the way through the gears, which is awesome. I guess it wasn't going in just because it was like these right here weren't hooked up, and the transmission shifter and stuff wasn't hooked up, but or like the electronic part wasn't hooked up. But anyways, got that in there and done, and so now I'm going to finish cleaning this thing out and a final assembly to let the thing run, and the gauges and whatnot. But yeah, we're getting there, guys. Alright guys, so we're about to do a test start. I'm going to set the camera down on the ground over here by the downpipe, and give her a little crank and let you guys hear the start up, and then pick the camera up and just check some stuff. But anyway, here we go. Alright, so went to town. Car's not one to idle. It runs pretty decent AFRs whenever you are giving it gas and holding the throttle. When you get to 2,000 to 3,000 RPMs and hold it steady, it runs anywhere between 11 to 12 something AFR. So I'm trying to think of why it won't idle. The intake is hooked up, mass airflow is hooked up, O2 is hooked up, and so I'm thinking maybe the ECU is just having a hard time relearning because it's been unhooked for so long. So I have some seafoam I'm going to run through it, and I went and got 2 gallons of 93 octane to put in it because it does have old fuel in it. Or not really old fuel, but it's been sitting up since November, so old enough. Damn, that actually has been a long time now I'm thinking about it. But anyway, fresh 93 and some seafoam, I'm going to run that through it, and then we'll go from there and see what happens. Okay, so put 2 gallons of that in there of gas, and then put about 3/4 of a can of seafoam. So let's see what happens. All right. Alright, so if my hair looks crazy, it's because I just did a hit in the Lexus with Ryan, and yeah, so you guys are going to have to wait till the next video to see that. For the most part, it's running, it's driving. has an idle issue. It won't hold idle, but when it runs and drives, it runs and drives fine. So don't really know what's going on there, but aside from that, everything seems to be going fine with it. It is fast. It pulls like a freight train when that turbo comes on. It's a little laggy. It doesn't come on until about 4,000, but when it does, you better be hanging on. But that's all for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you guys are happy to see the Lexus back. Ignore my messed up hair, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace out, guys.